Thank you, Krish. Hello, Sakshi. Hi, Chaitanya. Hello, Harry. Hello, Millie. Hello. Okay, without wasting any more time, I think the time is pressing issue here. I would hand it over to Bharat. He'll give a brief introduction about Priyank, and then we can take it right from there itself. Yes, Bharat.
Hello everyone. I would like to give a brief information about Mr. Priyank. So, Priyank Shah is an architect and the founder of Meraki Portfolio Consultancy, dedicated to quality education and creative collaborations. He is also a founding member of Meraki Design Studio, specializing in urban design projects and actively engages as a visiting faculty, tutor, and mentor at various architecture colleges. Meraki, based in Vadodara, is a forward-thinking hub for design education. With 12 years of evolution, they have moved beyond conventional coaching, offering a personalized, hands-on, and theoretically sound curriculum. Their interdisciplinary approach prepares aspiring architects and designers for top institutions worldwide, with expert workshop camps and outdoor sketching trips. With a growing community of 800 plus students excelling globally, Meraki is all about nurturing creativity and individuality in a design education. Thank you very much, Mr. Priyank, for accepting our invitation. Now I hand over mic to you for the presentation.
First of all, just raise your hand if I'm audible to all of you.
Yeah. Guys, you can raise your hands from your chat box. Yeah, I see.
Okay. So, thank you all for actually spending your Sunday afternoon into learning something that probably it's not a part of your curriculum, number one. And also like a hot Sunday afternoon, you all are coming at 2 o'clock. So thank you all. Um, Thank you for the great introduction, Sarjan-Design competition team and IIID-Charotar chapter. Before I dive into the visuals of my presentation, I just have to just congratulate the entire Charotar chapter to organize something of this scale, because it is something very challenging to float a public design competition, because public space usually is very an area that we as architects try to avoid, especially when it comes to working in the public space, and then trying to make it more democratic in terms of design competition, and then educating people about what all they should do, and formulating the panels and running the jury. So it's a mammoth task, and I really congratulate you for organizing something of this scale. My journey of Meraki Portfolio Consultancy started with just an accident where one of an artist requested me to teach at his design institute, and I was in my first year of architecture. I still remember studying in Vidyanagar. So every summer break, I used to go to Baroda and just teach basic sketching to students who were aspiring to get into design courses. And it has been 18 years now to that journey. And what I feel is that more than a commercial entity, it has become a passion project for me. So what I do is, even though we run a studio, we do projects, but I still like to get back to the student community and engage with them, that how they can actually work towards such projects and come up with ideas. So Meraki Portfolio Consultancy is a very simple concept. It is a mentorship driven organization that does a lot of workshops and helps students and guides them to uh, how to try to navigate their application and form a personalized narrative towards their applications for studying in India and abroad. So what we do is we help students to we guide them, we coach them for university applications. Now, coming to the core of the presentation, where we are talking about the design competition, Sarjan-Design competition. I remember that I did an interesting project when I was the chief architect at Vadodara Smart City. What we did was in 2017, there was this project that I was working with a group of few sculptors, where we told the municipal corporation that why don't you give us all the waste of your city, and we will get together a few artists and try to make certain sculptures out of it and beautify the public islands of the city. So that was the idea. So what we did was we got in touch with around 35-40 sculptors and we did a camp. So we had shortlisted one place and all of them were stationed at that camp location, and all the artists were staying day and night for around a month, and they produced around 30-40 sculptures. Now these sculptures, if you have been to Baroda, you might find them at different locations, like where these waste to art sculptures have been created, and a project was also transformed into a sculpture park. However, it has not come up the way the designers will like to have it, but it was an interesting concept in its own, and the approach was very democratic and to help the artists prosper and make their work visible in the city through public art. So, along after the successful completion of the sculpture project, I gave an idea to the municipal commissioner that if we can make sculptures, we have a lot of designers also in the city. We have architects, product designers, interior designers. So we also thought of doing some sort of competition and coming up with street furniture made from waste. Now sculptures, sculptures look very visually appealing, and it's easy to make the sculptures in public space. I mean, the complexity of making the sculpture is higher than a furniture, but because the furniture is being used by the people and sculptures are only of visual value. So working with waste in a street furniture is a complicated task than working with waste in a sculpture. So we came up with a design brief. We went to the scrap yards. We shortlisted the waste materials. We appointed a few experts who are mechanical engineers, interior designers, furniture designers, architects, and we created a mentorship panel. So I think you are on the right track where you are doing a series of sessions with experts, because I'm assuming that these students are not only interior design or furniture design or architecture students, but they are also from mechanical background and diverse backgrounds. So I think you don't need a degree to create a furniture. There were a lot of people who were from non-design backgrounds and have created really amazing street furnitures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive through that presentation for the next 10-15 minutes to give you an overview of how to compile a presentation from the concept of it, the democratic approach, how you can singularly add that design into your portfolio and submit your competition panels, and how you can collectively think of all the furnitures together, because all these furnitures are eventually going, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Gopal, but are these furnitures going in the city when they are done after the competition?
So right now we are just gonna have competition entries that's gonna float in. And if our future resources permits us, we'll be able to make a prototype and shall be placed in whatever and whichever place it is suitable for.
Yeah, so my presentation will talk about the entire cycle of that. Whether it will help you or not, I don't know, but it will be good to know that okay, after the competition, what happens and how it goes in the city environment. Like if you've been to Kamati Bagh in Baroda, we have placed these furnitures in Kamati Bagh, and it's almost like 6-7 years now. Some of the furnitures were vandalized by the public, so you can't do anything because we are staying in a democracy. but I will show you what we did. Okay, so I'm just going to do a screen share. Let me know once the screen share is active. Share screen. Are you able to look at my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can see it. See.
Okay. So this is so what we did was we started with a problem statement, that what is the concern. So we thought that cities generally are busy places, but at your parks, at bus stops, at all the public spaces, is lack of street furniture. So what makes the street furniture? So we thought that okay, benches, bus shelters. Yeah.
Now I can be your muse, Priyank. You can ask me to navigate the presentation wherever you want.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's visible to everyone, no? This one?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, what we did was first we identified the problem that okay, India has lot of informal public spaces, or you will see like this pole which is erected or drums on which the chai walas try to make an informal seating. So informal placemaking is very active in India, but there was no concept of street furniture. So what we tried to do was we identified the scrap and tried to convert it into street furniture. So the idea was that we integrate this within the cityscape of the Baroda city, and then we followed the camp concept the same way we did the concept with the artists. Okay, so this is a general illustration where we thought that what all can we do as a part of street furniture, just to give an idea to the designers and participants that okay, street furniture doesn't necessarily mean a bench, but it also means a dustbin, it also means a pole, it also means a bus stop, whatever you want to design. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, so the next idea was that what is the process? So we identified the city, okay, Baroda. We identified the spot that okay, we will go to road edges, we'll go to parks, we'll go to gardens, we'll go to lake edges. Third was context specific design. We thought that we gave a brief that why don't you create designs which are specific to the city of Baroda. And then execution and installation. So I think you don't have to worry about the execution and installation in this design competition. So what we did was we floated a competition, we formulated a jury, we dedicated a team for making the furniture. So designers were there, but on top of designers, we had special fabricators and team who were manufacturing the street furniture for us. Then tie up with the local bodies that okay, aap humko jagah de do, that where all this furniture is going to come. Then installation of furniture. Then furniture is dedicated to the public. So this was the main idea of the process of street furniture. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, so what we did was the team of shortlisted designers, they visited the municipality scrap, and we pitched to the government that okay, why we need street furniture. So then we found out like what are the problems, and these problems only became the inspiration that okay, let's take a metal bar where that person is sitting and browsing the mobile phone, or the crate where the girl is sitting. So we are like, can these only the waste become inspiration for us to create street furniture? So basically, a lot of effort was put into shortlisting of the material which was going in the design. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, then based on the materials that the designers had shortlisted for creation of the street furniture, the designers were asked to create the designs purely on the basis of the scrap which was available with us. So a lot of democratic design thinking was done. So there were around 27, 28 designers, and all the designers did a collective discussion also. So we all were the critics of our own design. So there was an internal jury also that was kept where all the designers came together. There were experts, so people who are well known in making sculptures, making street furniture were appointed to guide us that okay, this is how you work with it. Like just to give a simple example that in casted pipes, welding was not possible. So then the expert suggested that okay, you can do nut and bolt, but how to do a nut and bolt in a casting pipe was explained by them. So simple technical details that probably we as designers don't come across in the execution phase. So a few of the competition entries were from the available scrap. Okay. Next slide, please. Yeah, then once the designs were made, there was a dedicated team that worked with the designers to create the street furniture. So let's say the chair from the casting pipes. So these dedicated teams were also helping the designers to fabricate these sculptures. Then the furniture was then sent to a factory for powder coating and coloring, and then it was also tested on site. There were a lot of regular site visits that we kept, which were like a collective site visits of the camp. Then we installed these furniture in the Sayaji Bagh garden, where each designer had to do like a round of where their furniture is best suited, and then this furniture was installed in the garden premises. Next slide, please. And then a lot of back and forth, like okay, taking a walkthrough with the municipal commissioner and saying, sir, this is where we want to install. Discussing with the public that okay, where this sculpture is going to be suited. So when we mentioned about context specific installation of street furniture, so where your furniture is going to go. So Vadodara, so if a typographic Vadodara is written, which also acts as a street furniture, then what background we need for Vadodara? Or if your tire bench is coming, do we need a shaded tree under which this is located? So these kind of ideas that we thought that it will be nice to have a context specific street furniture. We had limited color palette to work with because we were working with waste. There was a lot of rust and sharp edges, so we had to do a lot of sandblasting and finishing of the edges so that it doesn't hurt people. Every designer was asked to actually move their finger on the edge of the furniture, and if anybody's finger gets cut, then that furniture was not allowed to be in the public space. So there was a lot of back and forth that was done with the furniture, and then it was powder coated at a very uh, good facility that an industrialist had offered to us. Yeah, next slide, please. Then the railway people also came to us and they said that okay, we have a railway station scrap also, and why don't you do something like a street furniture with the available railway scrap? So the photograph on the left, you will see the railway wheel anchor, which is used as a seating, and there are two pots which are made from the electrical parts of the railway cabling, which is done. And then like a proper documentation was also done. Every designer was given the placard on the top that okay, this what is this design about, who has designed it, with the logos of railways and people who supported it. So not just designing, but like I think a proper documentation of design is also very important, where you are showing that how actually the public is using this design. There were a lot of learnings, lot of social observations. Like the bench on the right, you will see only the two men sitting on the bench and all the women sitting down, whereas there is enough space on the bench. So all these kind of observations were seen when you are trying to make the public furniture. Next slide, please. So on the left, you see like how the space was visualized in terms of uh, the benches, how they're going to come, and below you will see how accurate it is to how it is being used. So when you are trying to do a design competition, I think the end user should also be always in mind that uh, this is how your public is going to use your street furniture and how durable it is. Like on the right, you can see what we call a butt resting bench. So uh, at railway station, you are just waiting with your luggage, waiting for the train. So you really don't need like a proper bench to just sleep. So we did this butt resting bench, but you also want to have a cup of chai and drink your water. So like a little ledge to put your stuffs on that. So these are like some of the ideas that we had thought of. Next slide, please. These are some questions that we asked. I think you can have a look at it later if it is shared to all. Uh, Feel free to share this document to everyone because this was a public project. So we don't have any copyright issue with this. You can share it with all. Um, Next slide. And then most important was the publication, like making it available to the public that how uh, how the organization is working and how people are using the space. Like on the right, you see this World Yoga Day was just coming after we had installed the street furniture. So you'll see all these people dressed in yoga dresses and doing different poses of yoga in that Vadodara bench, and it becoming like the front page of City Bhaskar and Times of India, covering how people are using different spaces. Actually, people came and started doing like selfie photo shoots on these benches. There were pre-wedding photo shoots going on. So you really don't know like how people are going to perceive your design. And so I really recommend that, okay, probably your first stage of design competition can be the design competition, but if possible, maybe you can do a second phase of installing a few selected pieces in Vidyanagar. I would like to see them uh,
Well,
actually executed.
we'll try our best, Priyank, and I think we'll also barge into Meraki for help for the same, since you have such a beautification drive that you took it with all these ideas for public spaces. And me being a spectator to all this, I must ask whoever is in and around Baroda, go and experience these spaces. This been installed say half a decade ago, 2017, and they're still very functional at most of the spaces. And yeah, so we'll try to create a prototype of the winning entries. We are on the process. We don't commit it, but we thinking of this on the same lines.
Yeah. No, no. I understand that this step is at an organizational level. So, lot of times there are a lot of challenges that you might face. But I think I hope that this presentation gave all the participants an overview of the entire process of work. And I think more than presentation, I feel you should also think about who is the end user. And if you ask the question, who is the end user and what problem are you going to solve, what's your material, any simple design can also be a winning entry. So not always that the most complicated design wins. It's also like how functional your design is. There were a lot of designs that good designers had made, but when it went into public space, there were a lot of challenges that were happening because um, working in public space is very challenging. So when you are working with uh, your end user in a public space, it can be someone who is a toddler and it can be someone who is a senior citizen. It can be a group of people. It can be an individual. So think about these areas when you are designing the furniture. If someone has any question, feel free to ask.
Yes, participants, the floor is yours, and would like to hear any queries or questions that you have. Millie? Can you hear me, Millie?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Since you have already, so Priyank, let me throw some light on what we have been doing since in the past 2 weeks, we have a designer, then we have somebody from the engineering background, fashion designer and engineering background. And as you initiated the presentation that it does not have to be restricted to architects or design fraternity itself. It is an open forum for, and that is what the competition is all aimed about. But since we being from the design fraternity, we have an upper edge as far as the presentation techniques are concerned. So how do you, how would you like to guide these engineering or, people not from a design fraternity or design education to go about in presenting their ideas?
So there are a lot of ideas. I think you are very lucky that you live in 2023. All the designers who are not from design background, like you have softwares like Canva, which come very handy, and they have these very interesting templates where you just have to put your ideas and sketch your ideas or try to make a collage in Canva. So I think for Canva you don't need any sort of pre-design degree or something. So what I suggest is people who are not from the design background, they don't have to feel bad about it. Also, you can take help of AI. So there are these lot of very interesting websites like Dali and Midjourney. You can try Adobe Firefly also. So you can, what you need to do is to find interesting prompts and generate something out of it. But don't submit your generated design directly in the design competition. So what I would do is I will try to generate some design. I will take a printout of it. I'll put a tracing on top of it. I'll try to modify the design. Then that modified design goes and you scan it and put it in Canva. So there is a layered process on it. You can also try model making. So I think model making is something that we learn in schools also. You can just try to take some sticks and make few interesting models. So I train a lot of students who don't have design background to get into design background, right? So they are 10th, 11th and 12th students who are going for their art, architecture and design courses. So what we do with them? We give them simple materials. So you can take noodle sticks, you can take ice cream sticks, you can take matchsticks. You can bring some. The first step is to visit a stationery store. So to visit a stationery store, you don't have to be creative or someone from design background, right? So what I would do is probably just visit to beautiful stationery stores that are around you and find some interesting material and see that how you can make a simple model. Now once you have made a simple model, try to see how you can photograph that model in a nice white background or a brown background. Okay, once you have the photograph, all you have to do is to take it in Midjourney or Firefly, remove the background and try to create something interesting in Canva. See, it's like all of us have not studied fashion design, right? But we know what clothes to pick and what combinations to wear, what hairstyle to do. I think Krish has some question.
Yeah. Krish, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, my question is, can you share a project where you had to overcome a significant design obstacle?
Yeah, so let me see if I can pull some design out of. So I think if we try to your question is if I had to, if I face the problem and how I overcome the problem.
Yes, sir.
See, I think in our studio every project is a design problem because we are working with public spaces, right? So I am giving you an example of a recent problem that we are facing in one of the project. Uh, let's say there is this weed grass called lantana. The forest department has problem that the weed grass is growing and killing all the forests. Okay. So what they do is they set the wheat grass on fire. Now that creates air pollution, and it's also killing the ecology because of the fire, forest fires. So now it's a design challenge for us. Now they are saying that why don't you convert this wheat grass into something interesting? So now it's a problem that probably we as architects or designers don't know how to solve that problem. So what we are doing is, okay, what is the closest material to lantana? Okay, cane. So we are studying that how people have utilized cane and bamboo, and what are they doing with cane and bamboo. So we are trying to touch base with people who are working with cane and bamboo, and we are learning that okay, how they are working with cane and bamboo. Okay, so a design challenge is a problem solving methodology answer to it. So right now, what I suggest is get your end user, find a problem that okay, my end user is a 3-year-old toddler in a public garden. Then it's easy for you to move forward of how you are going to solve that problem of a toddler. अच्छा toddler है तो उसकी height कितनी होगी? So the height is not more than 95 centimeters. So you design everything according to the proportion of the toddler. So for all these things, you don't have to be from a design background, and try to use these lot of online tools. Like now everything is available on YouTube. So if you just sit like for 3 hours at night and see how you can use AI to generate something, how you can go to a stationery store, find matchsticks or toothpicks to do something. All you have to do is to glue it together. Or it can be something, the answer can be at your home also. You will have a lot of found objects in your home. कोई डब्बा होगा, there would be a glass bottle, there would be some nails, there would be some wooden logs. Try to create something out of it. Try to create multiple iterations and then take photograph and see how you can best compose that photograph together in form of a design competition. We had floated a street design competition in Baroda. I remember there were two groups where none of the members were architects or designers in that group, but the design won the competition because what they proposed was bioswales and water tap for people. So not a single architect had thought about providing a water tap to someone in hot summer 45 degrees in Baroda where people are walking on the street. Everyone was thinking in terms of just beautification. So imagine how important providing a public water tap was as a project. Then second person proposed a bioswales. So bioswales are basically these water capturing swales that were proposed right next to trees. So these trees they brought in water to the ground. So it enabled a groundwater recharge in urban environment. So architects were thinking about paver blocks, and this guy thought about rainwater recharge in urban environment. So what I'm trying to bring here is what problem are you solving and how intelligent are you solving that problem is what will win you the competition project. By the way, this project that I showed you had won us the most innovative idea in World Smart City Congress in Barcelona. There were 146 entries from 50 plus countries in the world. But we won the award. You can Google it. We won the award because they said that this was the most democratic, very inclusive problem solving exercise that we did. Ours was the most cheapest and the most simple project. And the other competitors were Singapore Smart City, Dubai Smart City. But we won the award because we had solved a simple problem in the most collaborative way. So what you need to do is, Krish, I hope I'm answering your question. Right. So just think, what problem are you solving and what are your methodologies to solve them?
Right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Since we have moved ahead since long back in the competition, I think you guys might have on the roadway of finalizing your design, and we have specially got Priyank on board since he is the master of representing the ideas. I hope we have some sustainable questions. Do we have any questions? I think you guys have almost on the stage of freezing your designs and your ideas, but few of them were confused how to put that on paper and convey it to an audience that is unknown to you.
So what I can do is I will create a drive and share the link with you of some simple ideas of how they can. I have some templates, so they can put things in the templates. I'm sure you must have given some template to them, no? Some restrictions of the size of the.
Yeah, we have not given any template, but yeah, we have given them a format that they have to present their work in this many pages and in this size.
Right. Yeah. So people who can't sketch make models. People who can make models know how to photograph. We all have fancy phones.
Yeah.
So take photographs, compose those photographs from different angle, choose a nice background, color it. Everyone knows how to color it. Everyone knows how to generate. Or I think the designs are already done, so there is no point in saying how to conceptualize your design. And layouting, like try to look at some references. Like there are very interesting websites like issue.com. Look up how people have composed things in issue.com and try to make it presentable so that it communicates to the jury what exactly you are trying to do. So the purpose of a design is to communicate what you're trying to do.
Do we have any other questions, guys? It seems to be, I think they're all engrossed on the Sunday mode as usual.
Yeah, I think it's already 2:48. I also have to join some.
Okay, question I have been questioning to all our past guest speakers. And okay, there's a question from Roshni. Just I'll read it out for you. Roshni asks, can you tell us ways of representing a design efficiently that helps the receiver understand it better and not misinterpret? Very basic design language question, Priyank.
So, Roshni, if you are from design background, then I think I suggest that you try to not make it very complicated and make very simple design. Like for example, if you have seen the pictures of a street furniture camp, the simplest design was a pipe which was cut at 45 degree and it was multiplied. So rather than thinking of one complex design which is huge and lot of elements in it, you can use a very simple material and demonstrate it in a most effective way and execute it in the most effective way. But if you are not from design background, then probably what I would do is think of it as an exercise of rearranging your room. Okay, what do you do? Like first of all, you declutter your room. So declutter all the non-important ideas that you have. Second is okay, sort it and then try to arrange it in a better way. That okay, socks will come here, my t-shirts will come here, ethnic wear will come here. This color is going this way, this color is going this way, or you segregate it according to the seasons, right? That these are my winter wear, these are my summer wear, these are my wedding wear. So try to segregate your idea. Then third step is okay, that is done. Now what else? Now you're like, okay, now how to present this? So imagine it to be like a screenshot of your wardrobe where you are saying that okay, all the things hanging are coming at an eye level, all the jewelry and everything is coming in the drawers. So think of it like a decluttering to a presentation exercise. So it begins with decluttering. नहीं, उससे पहले there will be problem. That what is the problem? The problem is the room, that it's in a mess. Okay, then you are saying okay, declutter. Then you are saying okay, let's try to rearrange, and then you are like okay, how to present it. So now presentation in the most effective way could be a model. So I had a teacher who used to say that if your design works in a model, it works actually on the ground. So we used to make like these bridges, and you can actually try to put weight on those bridges and see whether it sags or doesn't sag. Here in this case, it will be a furniture. So try to make models and test it, whether your design works or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Then my question. Priyank Shah is supposed to be the competition judge for the criteria. What is he looking for? For the audience, the participants, the brief and everything. So if at all you are the one judging the competition, what is something that you're looking out for?
Very specific problem solving. So I would not think how the design is benefiting everyone at every point of time, at every situation, at every season, at every, like, it's difficult to cater to all. So I think a very focused design. So it could be addressing to one very specific problem. So I will give 5 points. Okay, one is focused design. Yeah. Second is simplicity of the design, and functionality is more important. So how simple it is and how functional it is. Third is layout. Like, how are you laying it out on your presentation? So starting from your concept to your final design, how you are presenting it. So definitely the process and the presentation. If as a juror, I will try to see more of a process, because you are not executing the design at this stage. So I would love to see the process, that what is your thought process. It can be a little provocative design, because right now you are not executing it, but the idea can work it. So third number is the process. Fourth number, the visual appeal of it. Everyone likes visual aesthetics. So how visually it is looking, and how well it will integrate in the public space. And fifth is the respect to context. So respect to context, I mean that whether it will suit in Anand, whether it will suit in Baroda, whether it will suit to Indian, also weather conditions. So is your material appropriate to the weather conditions? Is your material appropriate to the clothes we wear? Is your material appropriate to the proportions of the user who is going to use it? So these are like my 5 points that I will consider as a juror.
Okay, you have 5 point something from Priyank itself. You just have to tick mark that have you cross-checked it and you are good to go, I think. That was very informative, Priyank. I hope it helped a lot to everyone out there. And do you guys have any questions, participants? Since it's a very informal kind of a talk show kind of a situation here, we don't want to make it a very formal, and still,
Yes.
if there is anybody who can open up and have any query. But no, the Sunday fever has taken over them, I think. I think
Yes.
So thank you again, Priyank, for joining us on this informative session. It means a lot. Hope to catch up with you and your amazing work in the times to come. And hope to see you in Vidyanagar. Let's see if things will figure out. We'll have you for the same surgeon itself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I'll hand it over, Rachita Ben.
Thank you so much, Priyank, for your time and valuable insights. I'm sure each and every participants are learning well, and they are going to use all these points and considering while they are presenting it. And I would like to request all the participants to turn on their video so that we can take a group picture.
Yeah, please. As usual, I'm going to call out names. We'll start with Vidya, Sakshi, Millie is there already, Krish is there, Jaya, Roshni, we can't still see you. Nityashri is there.
I think people are waking up from their siesta, Sunday afternoon siesta.
Yes.
Oh, we were not aware that we'll have to turn on our camera.
No. So I being the bad monitor of the scenario all the time, I keep on asking them do so. Aditi, can we have Aditi?
I think they haven't gone across the news yet. The statement passed by Narayan Murthy, like
Sev-
working for 70
70
hours.
70 hours.
70 hours.
That includes Sundays also.
Yes.
Yeah. So Priyank, we have everyone on the dice. Can we have a picture? Yes. Just a minute.
Now we need to see pretty pictures of the design also.
Yeah, definitely. True that. Okay. Thank you again, Priyank.
All right, thank you. All the best, all of you, and looking forward to great work.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Bye. Have a good day.